This is a bit of business. On behalf of learmedia.tv and the British and Irish Trading Alliance, welcome to the show. My name is John Fitzgerald. We always try to bring interesting topics and interesting people together on the show for the BITA community and our wider business audience. Today, we are revisiting plastic pollution. It's topical and relevant to all of our communities. Our interesting person today is the type of individual we probably all know. This is a person who leads from the front. They walk the talk. They find ways to achieve incredible things, no matter how big the challenge. They are purpose-driven and laser-focused on that purpose. They are the first to the top of the mountain and pull people along with them. They refuse to take no for an answer. And let's face it, they just get stuff done. I believe our guest, Jeremy Brown, is this type of person. Jeremy is a born and bred Kiwi with a passion for the environment and co-founded Ocean Protect 10 years ago in Sydney, Australia. They focus on purpose rather than profit and work tirelessly to protect the oceans and waterways. With so much focus on single-use plastics, Jeremy has evolved the conversation about waterway health to include how urban pollution, including plastics, reach our rivers and oceans. His infectious passion for the environment has seen his business lobby government for effective change and partner with worthwhile charities to support their efforts to invest in education across primary schools in Eastern Australia. Over the past decade, he has led various innovation and product developments focused on creating cost-effective ways to protect the environment. Jeremy has lived on Sydney's northern beaches for the past 20 years, and that is quite a location. He lives and breathes the ocean and is dedicated to turning the tide on its demise. That's it, folks. Please do remember to visit the newly updated BITA website, BITA.ie, for news about members, upcoming events, and all things BITA related. Jeremy Brown on the clock, coming up next. Please do stay tuned. Jeremy, welcome.
John, thank you for having me, all the way from Wanaka, New Zealand. Excited to be on the show.
Great stuff. Thank you. Look, Jeremy, the on the clock format is very simple. It's a quick fire question and answer session to get an insight into a person and how they feel about a particular issue. Some serious questions, some not so serious questions, I promise. And look, we'll take about 10 minutes today, so nothing too onerous. So, Jeremy, are you ready?
Born ready, John, born.
Where are you from exactly?
John, I was born in Christchurch, New Zealand. People will know Christchurch for a couple of different reasons. One, the Canterbury Crusaders, best rugby team in the world. The horrific earthquake that happened, and then more recently, the shooting, the mosque shooting. So born and bred in Christchurch, but I actually live in Sydney, Australia. I'm just back spending some time in New Zealand with my family.
Great stuff. Rugby league or rugby union?
Come on, John. No, there's only one game in New Zealand, rugby union.
Rugby World Cup final, Australia versus New Zealand. Who wins and by how much?
Well, look, just based on the BITA Cup, I'd give us 10 points, New Zealand by 10.
Ooh. What's your favorite word, Jeremy?
Segue.
What sound do you love?
The sound of silence.
What's your favorite curse word?
Gee, I don't think it's one for this show. No, pass, next.
Okay. What profession other than your own would you love to try?
I'd like to be a jet fighter pilot.
Wow. That's pretty cool. What's one of the things you'd put on your bucket list?
I'd like to go to space. I think by the time I can afford it, I think we'll be able to get there.
Well, we'll talk to Mr. Branson and see if that can be arranged.
Give them a buzz, sure.
Who is your favorite superhero and why?
I'd have to go with Batman. Batman because, by day he's Bruce Wayne, successful businessman, and then by night he's a vigilante and goes out and, helps the community. So yeah, definitely Batman.
I think there's probably a bit of Batman in everybody, Jeremy, to be honest. What superpower would you most like to have?
Well, yeah, Superman's power to be able to fly. All my family flies, so alas, I wanted to be a jet fighter pilot. So definitely Superman, and to enable me to fly.
Who do you admire the most?
Gee, Mr. Branson. I certainly look up to Sir Richard Branson.
Ah, very good. If a movie was made of your life, who would play you?
Gee, why would it know? Tom Hardy, maybe? I don't know.
Good choice. Who is your favorite cartoon character and why?
Gee, Sonic the Hedgehog. I think growing up, I don't know why. I might have just seen a new movie that's come out with it, but Sonic, he was just this blue little ball of energy, just didn't stop. So yeah, I'd probably go Sonic.
Very good. What's your dream job?
It's what I do now. We get up every day and build infrastructure that stops the pollution going out to the ocean. So I'm living the dream.
Fantastic. What annoys you the most?
I'm pretty impatient. So when things take longer than they should, I'm not a happy camper. So I'm impatient. So is that an answer to your question? I'm not sure.
It's fine. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Energetic, caring, and passionate.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you, Jeremy?
Gee, I don't know if I'm cool. Look, let's just go with 5. 5. I'm not sure.
All right, fair enough. What new technology will transform the future of the environment?
Yeah, there's so many amazing technologies coming out. Look, we've recently just had 50 houses over the hill in Oha go up in flames. It was caused by arcing power lines. I think power served by radio waves and wireless power, I think, is going to really transform us. But hey, there's so many cool things coming out, John. That's a whole nother session, I think.
Okay, fair enough. What product would you refuse to promote?
Yeah, single-use plastics. I think they should be called for what they are, which is hazardous waste. I think the oil companies have come up with a great sort of product there and called it single-use plastic, but I think it's actually should be named hazardous waste. And I'd, never ever promote that.
If you were running for office, Jeremy, what would your campaign slogan be?
Running for office. Keep charging. Keep charging.
Okay. What have you done that you're most proud of?
I got to wear the silver fern, so I represent New Zealand when I was 19 years old in New Zealand juniors. Rowing, very passionate about rowing.
Wow. Interesting. A man of many talents. What advice did you get that was the most rewarding in your life so far?
Advice. Hold the line. A guy by the name of Jim Lenhart, who's a dear friend and mentor, always hold the line of doing the right thing. You can come close to it, but if you hold the line and hold your credibility, you might lose a few games, but you'll win the battle. So credibility and holding that technical line.
What does success look like at Ocean Protect?
What does it look like now? I'm not really sure. Successes for us is a group of people coming together. We're sort of 40 or 50 strong now. it's getting the job done. It's not a monetary thing. We've gone away from that. Money is important. Sure, it feeds people and families and lifestyles, but we're here to do a job and make sure that stormwater runoff is on front of mind when it comes to governments and people. Stormwater is not a particular sexy sort of issue, but by bringing it up and having a good conversation about it and making people aware, I guess, would be my form of success, or our form of success.
Are you a leader or a follower?
Well, I think to be a good leader, you've got to be a good follower. You've got to be both.
That's a very diplomatic answer, Jeremy. Thank you. What makes you angry when you think about pollution?
What makes me angry is that it's an easily fixable problem, and one where if we all concentrate on it, it's an achievable problem to fix. It's not like global warming, where is it happening, is it not? How do we fix it? Stopping pollution entering our creeks, rivers, and oceans is an easy stop. So it does make me angry when people go, "Oh, well, it's not my problem. It's it's someone else's problem."
Yeah. What are you afraid of?
Geez, apart from dying, there's not a lot that I'm afraid of. I mean, I jumped out of a plane about a year ago, and I thought I would be afraid, but as soon as that door opened, I had a big grin on my face. So, I don't know, John. To be honest.
Fearless. Good for you. What is better, certificates or experience?
Experience.
What motivates you to advocate for a clean environment, Jeremy?
Again, going back to a really fixable problem. This is pollution in our waterways is something that we can easily stop. So I guess that would be my biggest motivation. This is an easy problem to stop.
Your top 3 predictions for the future of the environment.
It's going to get warmer. It's going to get more unpredictable weather, and I think the ice is going to melt faster than we think.
Is plastic good or bad, and why?
I think plastic in the health sector is a good thing. Plastic has got good uses for it. I think the oil companies have pushed single-use plastic onto human beings or onto civilization. We have absorbed that. We're used to it. We're used to going down to Coles or Woolies or convenience stores and getting a quick bit of lunch. So I think we're used to single-use plastic, but we've certainly been forced to use it. So,
What causes ocean pollution?
Look, there's a number of things that cause it, but if you look at from the research that we see, there's a number of things. So there's atmospheric pollution, so literally plastic getting whipped up from big cities going out. There's obviously stormwater runoff, which is a major contributor. 80% of pollution actually comes from land-based sources. So whether it's air pollution or water pollution, we're literally choking our oceans.
How can we prevent ocean pollution due to plastics?
Well, we're going to stop using it, John. It's pretty simple. Get used to it. Get your water bottle. Reduce the amount that we're using. But we also need to protect our creeks, rivers, and oceans. Remembering, a little creek turns into a river turns into goes into the ocean. So we really need to stop not only plastic, but everything else that goes down our drains from entering our environment, because once it gets there, it's very hard to mop it up.
Do some countries allow more plastic pollution than others?
Yeah, and some countries have better infrastructure to deal with it. I recently nearly a year ago, did a endurance event in Nusa Long Island in Bali. And they simply don't have any recycling facilities to, even get the plastic, out of the rubbish system and then recycle it. So, third world countries find it very hard to deal with plastic. First world countries or if you call Australia and New Zealand a first world country, we've got decent facilities, but still we're not doing a very good job. I think we only recycle roughly 9% of plastic globally, so we've got to do a better job there.
Work to do. Where do microplastics come from?
Well, as the name says, micro, it comes from macro, big bits of plastic. So actually a recent study, 35 or 36% of microplastics in our oceans actually comes from clothing. So every time you wash your clothes, little bits of plastic out of the fibers are actually going down into the wastewater system. And our current wastewater systems are not set up to take out microplastics. So look, it's everywhere. It's in the air. It's in our creeks. It's in our wastewater system. It's just everywhere.
What advancements are being made in recycling plastic, Jeremy?
Not a lot. You know, I know Singapore burns or incinerates their plastic waste, but we've been led to believe that all plastic is, you know, recyclable. That's not the case. It's very, very difficult, and each individual bit of plastic has got its different ability to recycle. So, it's very, very hard to recycle plastic at a high level. We're not going to recycle our way out of this problem. That's one thing I do know for sure.
Last couple of questions. You're on TV, Jeremy, and the whole world can magically see and hear you. What is your message?
Hope. You know, we can stop polluting and killing our environment. It's a very easy choice, but it's an individual choice. So when you look at a big problem, if you start with yourself and fixing the little 1%ers and making little changes in your daily life, if you do that and tell a friend, and a friend tells a friend, next thing you know, we've got a whole army of people.
If the Australian and New Zealand governments gave Ocean Protect $100 million tomorrow, what would you do with the money and what would you try to change?
Wow, $100 million, that's a lot of money. Look, it's all for Ocean Protect, it's about education, it's science communication. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of people around me. They're very, very smart. I like to say I'm the dumbest one in my company, because that's what you want to do. Sharing the knowledge and getting data out to give people, the ability to choose, have a choice. A lot of people don't even know how pollution gets out into our oceans. Even a lot of politicians don't know that. So, I'd spend a lot of money on education, getting out to, you know, the general public. Number two, I would certainly protect our creeks and rivers and oceans a lot better than what we are. We think we're roughly treating 5 to 10% of the urban environment in Australia. So there is a huge amount of an urban area that's, you know, literally untreated. So every time it rains, it goes down our drains, it collects all the rubbish that we as humans pollute, whether that's intentionally or unintentionally. So yeah, education, put more infrastructure in, would be my two things.
Last question, Jeremy. What 3 simple actions can our audience take today to clean up the environment in which they live right now?
Yeah, look, I've got a great mate, Tim, from Take 3 for the Sea, great organisation. Quite simple. Every time you walk past a bit of rubbish, pick it up. That simple. It's that easy. I know it's someone else's rubbish, but pick one piece up. Number 2, look at your home choices. When you're going to Sainsbury's or wherever you get your groceries from, have a think about it. You know, the convenience of buying a single-use product. The less we buy, the less we put into the system, the less demand there is. And number 3, tell people, listen to podcasts, you know, listen to webcasts like this, immerse yourself with information so you can make better choices.
Jeremy, you've been a terrific guest today on The Clock. Thank you so much for your time. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Jeremy Brown, all the best for now. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, John.